There are a lot of different documents that can be used as proof of your presence or residency in the United States. Generally speaking, the best documents are documents that have your full name on them and a specific date. If, however, a document, for example, does not have a specific date, but it has a month and a year, that could also be useful. Other examples include marriage certificates. If you are married, your marriage certificate could be a form of evidence. If you have children born in the United States, you could use their birth certificates as evidence. Other examples include certificates, awards, diplomas, and other documents from school, whether you are still in school now, you've graduated, and these can be documents from preschool all the way to high school and college. So any notes that you might have received, certificates, anything that has your name and a date on it could potentially be useful for your DACA application. Also report cards, things that have your notes on them or anything else the school sent home that has your name and a specific date on it. Other examples of documents that might be useful for your initial DACA application include financial documents such as bank statements if you have various kinds of bank accounts. Also, if you have insurance policies, documents from your insurance policies could be useful. If you're working or if you have worked in the past, your check stubs could be helpful. Other types of evidence include bills that you might receive in your name, including electricity, water, cable, and anything else that you might receive in your name, including cell phones as well. Medical records are another good example of documentation. If you go to a clinic or a hospital regularly, or if you have a doctor's office that you go to regularly, you should contact them or any other place that you've ever gone to request a complete copy of your medical history. If you attend a church, a mosque, a synagogue, or other place of worship, you could ask them to provide you a letter that specifies the dates that you have been a member there. Ultimately, if you're not sure if a document will help or not, take it to your immigration attorney or to your accredited representative who is helping you with your case. That person can help you decide if it's a useful document or not. And don't hesitate to gather documents from a long time ago. We're trying to show when you apply that you have been in the United States since before June 2007 up until the present time, but you can even go farther back. So all documents are potentially useful.
So now that you've mailed your DACA application, what happens next? I'm going to provide some general information that's based on our experience with initial DACA applications prior to the government stopping the processing of those applications in 2017. In approximately 2 to 3 weeks after mailing in your application, you'll receive a receipt notice from USCIS. It's important to save that receipt. It contains a receipt number that you can use to check your case status, either online or by calling the 800 number that appears on the notice. 4 to 6 weeks after mailing in your application, you'll receive an appointment notice for your biometrics appointment at a USCIS application support center. What we mean by biometrics is having your photograph and fingerprints taken. USCIS conducts immigration and criminal background checks on all applicants, and so we'll be using that information to run those checks. Typically, 6 to 8 weeks after filing, you would have your actual biometrics appointment. Keep in mind that may be delayed if the local office that conducts these biometrics appointments is closed due to COVID-19 restrictions. When you do go for your appointment, though, you will need photo ID. If you don't have a driver's license or a state ID, you can use a passport or national identification document from your home country. 5 to 12 months after filing, if all goes well, your DACA will be approved and you'll receive another notice from USCIS that informs you of the approval in writing. But during this time frame, you may receive a request for evidence if USCIS feels that they need more information from you. And if USCIS denies your application, they will also mail you a letter providing you with the reasons for the denial. Now, if your application was approved, It's important to keep in mind that USCIS doesn't begin processing your application for a work permit until your DACA application is approved. It generally takes at least 90 days to process the work permit and produce that work permit, after a DACA approval. Is it safe to apply for DACA? Will your information be protected when you submit a DACA application? As a first-time applicant, you'll be providing the Department of Homeland Security a significant amount of personal information, and ICE may have access to that information. For that reason, it's really important that you consult with an experienced immigration attorney or accredited representative before submitting any type of immigration application. The Obama administration barred the use of DACA recipients' information for enforcement purposes by ICE. The Trump administration has said that USCIS will generally not proactively share information with ICE, but has not said what ICE agents can do with the databases that they do have access to, which do include databases that contain the information that applicants provide in their applications. Should you go to for help with your DACA application? Again, it's really important that you consult with an experienced immigration attorney or accredited representative before filing a DACA application or any other immigration application to ensure that you really are eligible to apply, because again, you are turning over an incredible amount of personal information about yourself. Very important also to keep in mind that you should not go to a notario or notary. In many countries, notarios, are attorneys, but in the United States they are not, and they are not authorized to practice law or give legal advice. We have seen many instances where notarios have done great damage to people who've used them for their immigration applications.